Welcome to Get Real with Jack and Cindy, where the stories aren't polished and the advice isn't trendy. We talk houses, markets, and the life that happens in between. The ways, the screw-ups, and everything unseen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 3 of Get Real with Jack and Cindy. I'm Cindy Morrison.
And I'm Jack Wallace. Season 3.
Season 3. Hey, high five.
Imagine us talking for 3 years.
A little, yeah. Anybody who knows us knows that is an easy thing for us to do.
Right.
But seriously, did you know that most podcasts do not make it past episode 7?
Really?
Ever.
I wonder why that's it. I mean, that's
I think they run
interesting.
out of things to say. I mean,
yeah, well,
you and I never run out of things to say.
I think it's also like we really are kind of putting it out there and then not paying a whole lot of attention and worrying whether or not it's, like
Sure.
There's weeks where we're getting lots and lots of people watching and some a little bit less, but I think we're just kind of doing it no matter what. And we built a great audience though.
And we're actually, Jack and I both are teaching how to start your own podcast at our brokerage mini conference. And kind of fun going through the list of things to give them advice.
Yeah.
And, one thing is consistency. You just have to show up, whether you're going to do it once a week, once a month, once a day.
And if you miss, then you don't just stop. Like, I think that's the other too. Like, we've tried to do once a week, and obviously that has not always been the case because we've had other things happen in our life or whatever, but we just jump back in and that's, would it be at some point good to have it every week and make sure that that's on there? Yes. But like right now we are professionals in real estate, and this is something
that's our real paying job.
Yeah, and this is, a branch of that. But so we always focus on if we have to do the work, then we do the work.
And, one of the things talking about why would you start a podcast for a variety of reasons, branding for your business, to show up locally, to be able to showcase your expertise. Now that we're in season 3, we have a whole bank of educational materials for our clients or people who are looking even at buying in another state that they can pick a topic and go back and watch that.
Sure. And I think also there's so much happening. There's so many things, like financially, politically, that impact real estate. And I think kind of staying current on current events and I think all the changes since we've been doing this podcast and commissions and who pays it and how it's listings and how that's done and
a huge class action lawsuit, lots
NAR
of stuff
falling apart basically. No, but it has been like you think of it for like 2 years how much has happened and it really is relevant. It's sort of interesting now to go back and look at some of that. Like now we were so afraid of certain things that now are like, you don't know until you do it.
And also we had this idea for a podcast to be local, and we literally just sat down one day at your office, opened up my computer, found out which program we wanted to use, and just did it.
Yeah.
Zero lighting. We had nice mics. We did buy nice mics, but we literally had...
2 of them broke immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I broke 2 because I messed them up, but... Yeah.
But I think sometimes people wait for it to be so perfect. I'm going to go in a studio and I'm going to spend all this money. I'm going to get sponsors when I've never had anybody sponsor anything before. And, we just decided we have valuable knowledge that we wanted to share with you in podcast form. We just happened to record it so we could pull out promos. We could have it on YouTube if you wanted to watch us on there. But there was no fancy production. We just jumped in and started doing it.
I think the other thing too that if we're being really honest,
it is Get Real with Jack and Cindy.
I think that a lot of the reason why other people, and it's not easy for me, I can't speak for you. You were on TV forever, watching yourself and seeing yourself.
That's brutal.
So a lot of what we do is we just kind of do it and then we put it out there. I mean, I occasionally watch. I do listen to them just to hear how it all came together.
Yes.
But I don't. I think it's like when I talk to people about the podcast or about doing videos for their business, whether it's real estate or other business, that's people's big thing is they get in front of themselves. They worry about how they look or this or these. I'm almost 60 years old. I mean,
me too.
It's not easy to.
So we have knowledge,
Yeah.
but some of this is not what it used to be.
I mean, it's hard. But it's so funny. I say that. Was there ever a time in your life where you weren't hard on yourself, though?
No.
Like, I think that's the hard part. Like, we all think, gosh, if I just looked like I did, blah, blah, blah. Well, I hated pictures of myself when I was 30. Now I look back and go, oh my God, you look great. What was your problem?
Well, especially I look back and I thought, oh, I was so fat then. I look at the pictures and I'm like, oh,
no,
what a warped idea of how I thought I looked.
So why can't we give ourselves the same grace now and think about like how ourselves in 10, 15, 20 years are going to look back and go, good for you. You know? So
exactly.
I think that's where you just have to get to the place where basically you're doing it for a purpose, and when we do our mentoring class, that's what we keep telling them, like you do it for a purpose. You don't do it for the vanity. If you're doing it for the vanity, then this is not really the career or the venue for you.
Exactly.
Because it's not glamorous a lot of the time, but you do have to show up. And you're so good with your videos about, that is one of your strengths is doing those listing videos and doing that. And I think other people look at that and think that that's what they have to do, and that isn't the case.
Right.
You can showcase properties without being so on front of it, but you do need to have your face some of the time on that. Anyways,
and as we because Jack and I have a mentoring program called the Closing Crew at our brokerage, and that's one of the things we preach is, yes, as a real estate agent, you are the brand. But it's not about you.
Right, which is confusing.
If you are constantly posting pictures of yourself or in your bikini or whatever you decide
you're picking on me?
Yes. No. But you see some agents that it's all about them. They are in every single video. They're not showcasing their houses. So if you think about it, yes, you are the brand. Yes, you need to have your face there. You need to have your pictures on things. But it's about educating people about the buying, selling, and investing process. And as long as you're giving, and this is my TV news background, we used to talk about something called with them, what's in it for me. So everybody who's sitting and watching the news, they don't care what happened a lot of times in another state. They want to know what's happened in their neighborhood, what their weather's going to be like. So I think as long as an agent, and that's what we've tried to do with this podcast, is really give you information. Take this almost 60 years of knowledge. God, how many years of that is that?
So like we're 120 years old.
We're 120 years old. Thank you for doing the math. But you take this knowledge.
Let's say 118 at the moment.
There we go. Exactly. So 118 years of knowledge. And we just basically wanted to give it all to you for free, not expecting anything. But that's why I think a lot of times we didn't go back and watch the entire thing every single time and pick ourselves apart.
And this will probably be no shock to anyone watching, but we don't edit.
No, it is. We start, like, when we sat down, we're like, what are we going to talk about for our first podcast of the year? Let's talk about resolutions. Well, we'll get to that. But we started talking about it being the third season and why we do a podcast.
Right.
So
But I think that's important to know. When you watch our podcast or listen to our podcast, you are getting the unedited what happens, whether we have a guest or it's us and our, I feel bad for the guests sometimes because they think they're going to walk in and we'll edit out and make them sound good. And they always sound good because we just talk to them and they talk back. But we're both of the opinion that this is get real. This isn't let's get slick. And so, but this, and it's kind of unfiltered. And sometimes our opinions are probably a little over the top. Sometimes we're but that is what we feel at the moment, and I think that's a good thing. And I think people see that and hear that and they feel that authenticity. So, are we as polished as some of the videos you're going to watch on other? No. And is that on purpose? Yes.
I will say this year we have upgraded. Like I said, I was just doing it on my laptop. Then we added a webcam. We knew we needed good audio because most people just listen to podcasts. But
the production quality
quality. We don't have somebody mixing it for us. We don't have somebody editing it. I mean, literally, we shoot it and I go back to my computer and upload it and it's magically there. Let's add some music in.
Right.
So sometimes good enough is good enough. If you're getting out great information, sometimes the production value will come. And this year, I mean, we have some new equipment. I've actually taken a class on dressing all of this up because we're at Jack's office at the Midtown Chenoweth office. So you'll see a lot of changes, I think, in the podcast this year, but it's because people are watching, people are interested, and we can see we're making a difference. Now, all right, the spaghetti's sticking to the wall. Let's double down on that.
Right. And again, I think what I would really hope that we do here is that we are addressing issues and things that you guys want to know and learn about and find out about. I did that series for myself with a legacy lesson.
So good.
And
so
I'm about
good.
to do a new one, but I kind of decided I wanted to do sort of segments and then give it a rest and then a segment. And the last one was kind of more about how you make sure your ownership is the correct ownership, that it's deeded correctly, your transference of wealth, if you want to think about that, and all those components, and just sort of do 4 or 5 of those in a row that kind of all played into each other and gave that knowledge, and then let people kind of absorb that, and then we're going to do something different. But my most important thing is I don't want to just get on to just talk. I want it to have a reason, and I want it to be something fulfilling for the public, and I don't want them to go, oh God, it's just you again.
And talking about how wonderful you are.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like finding that thin line, and we are in business, and we're trying to be visible, and we're trying to keep your properties that we list visible, and sometimes you get some flack for that because you are in front of it, but you always say, and we always say, it's a marketing thing. We are a marketing company, basically. We just are what we sell our houses.
Exactly right. And
our ability to sell houses, and our knowledge base to sell houses, and all of those things.
And that's something that, like in Portugal, they had their very first AI real estate agent who was able to return phone calls at any time of the day or night, was able to search MLS like that. But when you're listing your house, you really want someone who is a salesperson in a marketing role to market that house and not just stick it on MLS and put a sign in the front yard.
Well, I think that you and I both are we talk about AI a lot, probably to the point that a lot of the people out there are sick of it. But the thing that we're about is merging sales ability, sales knowledge, sales, and pairing it with agentic AI that's going to give us all of those things that Portuguese agent was able to do, like you said, and that's what we're all working towards. And we both invested a lot, and we're investing a lot in those things and those processes and those tools for our businesses, so that we can have the best of that, but at the same time you have the best of the 118 years of knowledge, and you have the best of somebody who is going to say, you know what, I think these people would be a good candidate for this house. I'm going to give them a call. Or this agent that I worked with before always seems to have someone looking. That's something that we piece together from our knowledge, from our experience, from our doing it, even just driving around.
Yes.
Sometimes I like just get in the car and drive, because you don't know what's happening in neighborhoods until you drive them. So
exactly
it's
right.
That's something that's very difficult for that AI component to do as well as we can. But it's stupid to not use all the technology that's available to be as systematically prepared and efficient and productive as we can be, that allows us to do the other part of it.
Absolutely. And I'm a big believer in, yes, will AI replace some real estate agents? Yes, it's just going to happen over the next 3 to 5 years. But the agents that survive are the ones who realize they are a marketing company that just happens to sell houses. They're constantly using AI to help them with that marketing, while they continue to keep their eye on the prize of doing the best job at negotiating and all the other things that come along with this.
Absolutely. And I do want to say something that I think is important. I've been watching a couple of younger agents and I adore them. I am such a fan of people getting in this business. I'm a cheerleader for all those people.
We even have a mentoring group. Yes.
Yes. But there's a couple of them that keep doing these, like, talking about how we as our age group and having done it as long as we have, how somehow we're so out of touch and we're not. I think they're really missing a boat. Like, here we are at the age we are talking about how excited we are, and we were in the top 100 in the nation to get our AI certification.
Mm-hmm.
We started our AI certification the day ChatGPT, literally the day ChatGPT came out, was our first class for that AI certification. Just because I'm an old dog does not mean I cannot learn new tricks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's really interesting right now. There's this sort of underlying thing going on. Yes, you guys are clever, and yes, you have a lot of energy, and that's great. But to count other people out because they've been doing it for a long time, I think you're really missing the boat. That's all I'm going to say in defense of all of us that have been in it for a long time. That I think that's really, it's a little disrespectful to begin with. Not that I deserve or need respect, but I just think in general for other people, I think you're putting up walls against some agents that you don't want to put walls up against.
So, in order to survive in this industry, one of the best things that you can do in negotiating tools is get along with the other agent, work together with that agent. So, I think the bigger
more
issue
deals are
here,
blown agent to agent than issue to issue.
Yep. So I think even the bigger issue of what you're alluding to, yes, there may be, younger people saying, hey, I've got the energy, I know all the marketing, blah, blah, blah. But I think the bigger issue is putting down other agents to the public. Because I think I see a lot of videos of, well, some agents do this, I don't do this. Or I love being the second person who gets the listing because the first one has made all the mistakes and priced it too high or whatever. I mean, I see all this attack, and it's really an attack on the industry and on character.
And it's sometimes true, but typically it is not true, because what the first person did, they had to fight the expectations, the unrealistic expectations of a seller who then becomes dismayed because they chose to not take advice and to overprice and to overdo. And then the next person who comes in, which we've all been the second person.
Absolutely.
And they're ready to listen. So to insult, I mean, there's a really successful agent in town, and he and I have always had a joke, and we have an agreement that we will give each other our pictures, because we were like, I would always take over his listings and he was always taking over mine. So it was like, okay, well,
here's your turn.
Not that happens very often, but when it did happen, it was always, we had sort of the same circle, and that was kind of how it went. So it was like, we just had an agreement. You can have the pictures because, sometimes those first pictures are your best pictures.
Right.
And it's like, people have moved out of their stuff or their furniture.
Or it was spring and the yard was beautiful.
And I mean, we just had that agreement, and we were always very civil with each other. And it was like, good luck, and I wish you well. But it's like, but it's again, having that relationship, because without those good pictures, the staging that was done, the whatever, like that second person is at a disadvantage because they wouldn't have that marketing tool. So yeah, I think that's exactly right. We have to really remember that we are here to serve the public.
Exactly. And going on social media and doing a video about how all these other people do it wrong and I do it right, that is not my philosophy with social media. I'll tell you what I do and how I do it, but I'm not going to put down other agents, because just because you may have a difference in how you market or whatever doesn't make the other agent bad, and you're putting down the industry when you do that.
And I think what you just said is the key for me. I have my style, you have your style. When you list with me, you get what you get, and when you list with Cindy, you get what you get. We go back and forth a lot, but we're very different in how we do things. And I mean, not very different, but different.
Kind of the yin to the yang.
Yeah. And so I just think and I think that's the way it should be. I mean, I think that if everybody, like we have, in investing, they call it a TAM, a total addressable market. Like what is the industry TAM, the total addressable market? And our total addressable market in residential real estate is huge, right? It's every residential home or apartment or condo there is. So when you look at that, you don't have a sales team here that can service all of that.
Exactly right.
And so you're looking for what is your market, what is your niche, what is your public. And we always say in real estate, be who you are, market who you are, and be real, because what is meant for you will be attracted to you and your business.
And you work with the wrong client, and you'll stop saying any client who has skin is my client.
Right. And
It's not true.
every group has different needs. You can have high profile clients who truly need anonymity, they need protection, they need, a different level. And then you have people that have very cookie cutter and just need it done.
Mm-hmm.
And you can throw anything you need to at the wall and that works, and that's fine. So you have to be able to either shift really well and do whatever you need to do for different clients, which most of us can do that.
Right.
Or you need to really focus in and say, this is my main thrust of people, and I'm going to do it. And I will tell you, after years and years of doing it, what happens is you end up finding out you really do attract and have a certain group of usually age demographic, and that can change with you, right? Because
absolutely,
when your kids are playing soccer or when you're doing that, then that's kind of your group, because that's who you're sitting at the next to in the games. And then suddenly they're all in high school and you're not at the games anymore very often, or they're in college, and then they're graduating college, and suddenly it's the kids that are graduating, your friends that need a new home. It just shifts, and then you get into retirement, and you get into referring things to other cities. I mean, it changes with you, hopefully, but to try to stay in one exact market, like the 30 to 40, and you've aged past that, and your contacts and your network has changed, it doesn't make sense. So it's an evolution, and you have to be aware. But if you can only do that by being yourself,
right,
and just being who you are, where you are, when you are.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Yes.
We've done
100%.
nothing about.
So let's talk about resolutions.
Yeah.
So right now is the time when people who have made resolutions, or even in the back of their mind, I'm going to change X and Y this year. So maybe it's not that resolution. It's just, I want to do this differently. Right now is the time. People are quitters. Whatever they've decided, you're getting 2 or 3 weeks into the first month of the year. And it's amazing how many people who got the gym membership quit going about now.
Not in my gym. They're still going.
Are they? Okay. they may make it till February, because that's an investment you have to make.
We're early on, but it is. It's just amazing. It's always like, oh my gosh, I go in and it's just so full of people now.
So one thing I'm putting together.
I like people, don't get me wrong, but when I'm working out,
I don't like sweaty people while I'm working out. No. I'm sorry.
That's a gym.
Please make sure you clean off your equipment when you're done with it, and I'll clean it off before I use it.
I can agree with that part.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, that part. Right. Yeah.
Anyway, to your point.
Yes. So, okay. So resolutions. One of the things I'm putting together, I'm going to work on this the rest of the day today, is how AI and your phone can work together to set your goals for whatever your resolutions are, and automatically send you reminders each month of 5 things that you need to do to accomplish this goal. I really want to combine AI and the technology you have on your smartphone to keep reminding you throughout the year, sort of like your mother used to nag you, keep reminding that, the idea in my household, I played tennis. You didn't quit tennis. Like if you started tennis at the beginning of the year, you finished tennis at the end of the year. Same thing with gymnastics and all the things. So this, I think, will give you an opportunity to have those reminders and be reminded in October. Oh yeah, how far have I made it?
It's a great idea.
On that resolution.
It's a great idea.
So I'll be sure and put a link to that in the comments once I get it together, so you guys have it.
I'm not really a resolution person.
Oh, mine's the same every year.
My thing is, it's a reset. It's the same thing every year. I think everyone can say that.
Mhm.
No, I think for me it's a reset. Like I always think, okay, my books need to be clean. My, like you just came into my office and I've been spending a day getting rid of all of my email bull that like unsubscribe, which is they trick you. My gosh, I just so crazy.
And the text messages, you can get 20% off if we not only get your email or your phone. So I've been going through
And doing
unsubscribing, stop, zero on the text
that's
messages.
My next thing. I'm going to do that.
Yep, but email is also on my list. I'm kind of like you. I really don't have
it gets to where you're losing things. I was starting to lose things because there's so much noise in my email that I was like, and then also it's almost full. You need to, I'm like, I can't. I'm thinking, I don't even get that many emails. Like I do, but not like, but it's because you get so many spams, like learning that bulk delete. Anyways, I think my it's less of a New Year's resolution and it's more of a reset. Let's restart and get ready for this next fiscal year, and how we're going to do that. Now, even like when it comes to, physical training, it is funny now. It's like I was thinking about this the other day because I am really, really. I did 1 year of really like steady physical training this year, and it's really funny because it's like I'm looking at so many of my age group and my friends that are having these real health issues and doing things. And suddenly it isn't about, I mean, it's nice to look great and we all want to look good, but it really is about, like keeping your muscle mass. I mean, like keeping healthy blood sugar. I mean, all those things.
My mom with Alzheimer's. I'm like, how can I?
Diabetes 3.
Sharpen my brain.
Yeah. So it's like more towards continuing or resetting the best behaviors possible for longevity or for quality of life or all those things another thing, I think I'm less materialistic than I've ever been in my life. Like I don't know how to explain that, but I just don't really care that much about material things. But
I more want to travel and spend time with my kids and spend time with my husband.
Quality of life things.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I still like, I like nice things, but it's kind of like my car is in the shop right now and I'm driving a brand new whatever, and it's like, oh, this is really nice, and I'm like, but is it that nice? Like, is it that nice? Because you have a paid car that is really nice. Like, it's those kind of things. And I'm going to be honest, 5 years ago, yeah, it would have been that nice. I would have been like, let's figure out how to do this. But it's just kind of like, I'd rather have the money to do this, or I'd rather have the money just going into investments or savings. So I think it's wherever you are, when you are, where you are. And right now, we're all kind of thinking a little bit, or you and I are thinking a little bit more like, what do we want to be able to do in 10 years or 15 years? Because it's closing in a little bit.
I went down the rabbit hole of peptides the last couple of days. Just, what peptides are going to help my body, help my mind? The other thing that is kind of one of my goals this year is my mother's fallen a lot. And I just don't work on my core like I used to.
So important.
So going back to the basics of working out, not just going out and walking the dogs, but working on my core is one of my big goals for 2026 because I really want to feel strong and steady with a clear mind.
Well, I will tell you, my mom is 84, and she always watches, so hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
But I told her yesterday, and I said, what are you doing? She goes, well, I've been to 2 exercise classes today.
I love her.
I was like, that's so great. And, she's doing like course classes that really work on that. She's doing classes on balancing with your feet and how to make sure your feet. I mean, she's really doing, and I love that they have those things too. It's great, but it's just, it's a non-ending and it's interesting. Like I think it keeps her mind because it's so interesting, that mind-body connection and all that. But yeah, I mean, like it is. So I think it's like, I don't know. I'm so grateful to be here on earth at this time right now with the people that I'm on this earth with. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I really, really am. And I'm fine. If this is what I was given at this point, I'm fine with that. I mean, I don't want that to be the case, but I would be fine. And so whatever now I have, I just want to really cherish it. And I want to really make sure. And that's, I think, why you and I both love doing the mentoring. I mean, it's not like the mentoring is a job. It's something we do as a passion, right? And so I think that and even my scolding the younger agents a minute ago, it's because it's like, we did all that. We've done that. And it's like, it seems funny and cute and like it'll work. But it's like, is that really what you want your legacy to be? Is that really what you want? Like, I think it's just, we're at that place now where
it's kind of like the gym. Back in our 20s, 30s, maybe even into our 40s, it was all about lifting heavy weights and, being competitive to look your best. And now more, it's to do those workouts to increase my longevity.
I still like heavy lifting, though, I won't lie.
And of course, we all want to look our best as well.
Yeah.
But that's not as important as it was when we were younger.
No. And it just becomes much more realistic at this age because we are now at the place. I always tell people, it's like, I'm kind of at the age now where if somebody were to have me, people wouldn't go, "Oh my gosh, you were so young." It's an interesting thing.
He lived a full life.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that to be in that, or you're watching. I watched this crazy documentary that Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the
Oh, I want to watch that.
Okay, it's really interesting. But anyways, her grandmother, they think Mama, and they were showing these pictures, and she sort of looks like this older woman, and she died at 65. I'm like, what? Because I'm thinking the whole time she's like 80 years old, and these videos they were kind of older than that. So, yeah,
that's so young.
Yeah, but it's like, I know a lot of people watching are going, yeah, 65 is old. No, it's not.
And maybe, and we kind of talked about this, I think, even on season 1. Ending each time on stuff that we're watching or listening to that's really cool.
Well, I don't think this is going to...
That is not one of them.
I actually watched a really good movie it's kind of interesting. It's called The Lesson.
Oh.
And it was, it's kind of... there's some people but not really. It's in English on Netflix, but it's really interesting. Kind of almost Agatha Christie-like.
I would love that.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
I'm right now watching... it's on Netflix, and it's the date when Kennedy was assassinated.
Oh, I've seen that, where the student goes back in time.
Yeah, so if you could go back in time and change things, how much would it really change things, and how much is the world going to fight back? I
love those alternative history
I've really enjoyed it, but the one that set me a Twitter, I don't know what else the Sean Combs documentary by 50 Cent.
Okay, we watched that, and I had to tell you, first of all, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of watched it thinking, well, are we gonna see some stuff about the freak offs or whatever? Like, I was a little bit titillated by what we were gonna, and it isn't that. All I could think was, how disgusting. Like, I don't see any appeal to any of that. I just don't. And I don't know the music genre that well either, and I don't know all the players. I don't. Mary J. Blige, of course I know Mary J. Blige, but so I was a little bit, we were kind of like, who, what? But
like the murder of Tupac and Biggie, there were just
and I didn't know that. That was interesting. Yeah. And I didn't know all that. Yeah. It is interesting that was all.
We're not going to give away anymore. You have you have to watch it, but literally have a Hallmark feel-good movie set up when you finish it, because you will just be like, I feel so dirty.
Yeah.
It's very interesting now.
Yeah. I don't know. Right now, it's like I would like some fluffy stuff. Just everything feels so serious.
Cute movie on Prime. I know we're past Christmas, but it's still a great movie. The Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh gosh. It's three words. Sounds like no, but it's like Go Have Fun or something like that. And it's a Christmas movie about a family that you just kind of forget how much the parents do to make Christmas everything it is.
Oh wow!
And I finished it and just felt
Michelle
good.
Pfeiffer.
And she is
gold, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Holy
She's
Hannah!
So great.
She's like, I think I googled it, 68. She looks amazing. Amazing.
So the guy that I do training with is 24, 25, and he had watched the Demi Moore movie,
Uh-huh.
Substance, and he was like, I go, well, she's like 60. He goes, no. I'm like, yeah, no. She looks so good.
But taking care of the mind, body, and soul, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And my gosh, she's been down many, like, it's never too late is all I'm saying. Well, I think we better wrap it up.
Yes, we should.
That was a really good, I think that was good. I think, it was a good start to the year.
Absolutely. Like I said, got some new equipment, so can't wait to put this on and see what you guys think. But thank you.
We really want feedback about what you want to hear and what you want to know. If there's anything, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. But if there's something that really is, on your heart that you want to know or listen to or whatever, let us know. We would love to make sure that we're meeting the needs that you guys have.
And we're going to go on the road a little bit and get real here in Tulsa and in Oklahoma. So I think there's a lot of exciting things coming up with season 3, branching out a little bit more to hopefully bring you something that you enjoy.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Welcome to Get Real with Jack and Cindy, where the stories aren't polished and the advice isn't trendy. We talk houses, markets, and the life that happens in between.